Hey, what's up, YouTube? Well, sitting here at the reloading bench. It's kind of a rainy, crummy day out there. Just having a coffee and felt like making a video. So I figured I'd do it on my new Wilson case cutter here with Sinclair micrometer. Here I talk a little bit about it, kind of what you can expect and kind of how it works and why it's so precise and accurate. Um, well, we'll get into the accuracy kind of right off the bat, which kind of falls into why this isn't a very fast cutter at all. And we'll get into that. But really, why this thing is so accurate and repeatable would be because the way they set this design up, they essentially made V blocks with rods that set down in the V blocks on this base here. So when you do that, that essentially self-centers everything. So you've got this bed here with two rods. Now what these rods have done now has essentially made another V block where now your tool holder sits down in these rods, which are acting like a V block. So when you have to move this, which to do pistol and rifle, this has two different positions. So you're moving this cutter. Now with it being V blocked, this you can move this and it's going to essentially self-center every time, which is why this is like a killer design, as well as this micrometer holder is sitting down in these V blocks as well. So everything self-centers on this, which is really cool. So basically what you got here is this is a pistol shell holder. You're going to have to get one of these for each caliber. This one is for 357. We're going to actually cut one in the video here. But and this is set up for pistol right now. So for rifle, you would have to unmount this, move it back one position, and it just gives you a bunch more room in here for the rifle holder, which I got one here. Now, loading a shell in the rifle holder and the pistol holder is a little bit different. Rifle rounds are actually quicker to cut on this cutter, and I'll show you why here. But we're going to do pistol because that's what we're set up for. So this is 357. Right here I got an oversized case. So what you would want to do is this will only go in this holder one way. Okay, it will not go the other direction. Okay, you just don't want to go. There is a ring in there that is tighter right at the very end. I don't know if you can see that or not. But there's a ring right at the very end that this presses into. Okay, now it's a tight enough fit that you cannot push this in by hand. There's a couple ways you can seat this down in there. You can use a rubber mallet or a hard plastic mallet, or you can use a arbor press, which is what my preferred method is. So how I do this is I just take it over here, set it in the press, bring it down. I'm looking through the phone here. Okay. Center this up. Now, of course, this is taking even longer because I'm holding my phone too. But yeah, you've got to actually press these down in there till they're flush with the top. I'll show you. It's not real hard to get them in there, but it's enough to where it would be a pain to push these in by hand. So if you'll notice, it is flush with the top of the holder. You do not want to cram it all the way down to where it bottoms out in that recess in there. You just want it flush. You just got to press it flush or tap it down there so it's flush. Okay, and this is the other end. So the cutter fits in that recess. So there's no way you can cut your shell holder unless you've got it you know, cutting way too deep. So now that we've got our 357 oversized casing pressed in there, now maybe I should talk a little bit about what I've done to this casing to prep it. Basically, how I do these before I trim them is I deprime, I clean them in the ultrasonic cleaner, and then I run it through the resizer. So these are basically the overall dimension shouldn't change past this point, which is why I cut them after I resize. Because if you cut before you resize, there's a chance that the shell will grow, or I don't think they shrink usually. I think they typically grow when you resize. So I cut them after I resize. The casing's clean. You don't want to press in a dirty casing in these. You want to keep them pretty clean. And then what you're going to do is just pull your cutter back. Now this is set up to cut these to maximum length, which I think is 1290. We'll check on the mic if I remember correctly. So anyways, you take it, you throw it in here, seat it back against your micrometer rod, pull this tab over, which is what holds this shell holder down in this V block. Then all you do is you just take your cutter and just kind of push it until it hits the end of the shell there. Let's see if I can get a, it's not very good light. Let me see here, there we go. Okay. So there's the case end in there. So what you do is just roll this in until it touches and just make a cut. You'll feel it smooth out as soon as it's gone. It'll only go in so far. And it gets super smooth when it's done cutting, which it happens quick. Okay, pull your cutter back. All right, so that is a trimmed case now. That should be 1290. All right, so now we got this case pressed in this bushing here. How we get it out? Well, back over to the arbor press we go. And what I do is, oh, dropped my little jig here that I had. Where did it go? Oh, that's not good. I lost my, oh, here it is. Okay, this is what I do. I've got a socket, and I made a little, I just basically cut down a, I got everything going off on my phone. Okay, I cut down a piece of ballpoint pen. So this is plastic, so it's, you know, really easy on everything. But this fits perfectly down in the 357 Magnum casing. So I just throw this on here, just like that. And we press that casing out. There it goes. That's all there is to it. Now, as you can see, this isn't the quickest method in the world to cut down cases. There's faster cutters out there, but as far as repeatability and precision, I think this one's going to be hard to beat. Now, this is kind of why I got this. I plan on reloading some precision rifle rounds down the road. So I wanted something that was ultra accurate and precise. So now that we got this casing cut, we're not done yet. We still need to deburr, which would be this guy we run in here. Knock that, when you cut, you're going to make a little edge in there. You need to knock that off. So you need to run this guy on that side and then this guy on that side, just real easy. You don't want to make a point. You just want to knock off any burr that's there. So let's do that real quick. Let's see. Okay. Okay, that's all for that. All right. No burr. Okay, so this should be 1290, I believe. Let's see here. All right. Yep, you got 1290. Oh, case kind of came out a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it's ultra precise. The one thing you need to make sure you do when you cut is make sure you seat the back of the casing against the micrometer rod. If you don't do that and you pinch that and you pinch your shell holder in there and you're forward, you're going to cut too much. You need to really make sure you're, as long as you're seated against this rod, it will cut the exact same every time. So it's super accurate. Like I said, it's a slow process to do the pistols because you got to press them in and out of these bushings. That's the only downside. Now for rifle, these use a taper. They don't use a pressed in ring in there that's smaller than the case diameter. These are tapered. So for a rifle, all you do is it'll only go in one way, just like the pistol. Is you just set it down in there and you take it and you would tap the shell in. That's all the rifles take. You just tap them in and then tap them back out. That's why I got this Delron plastic here. So rifle is much quicker to set up as far as the casings. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much kind of the gist on the cutter. Yeah, I really like it. It's smooth. There's a few versions with different micrometers. I opted for the Sinclair. That's a really nice micrometer kind of versus the other ones, which in reality, that's not even really necessary. They sell a model that's pretty much just a bolt that you turn and it will literally do the same thing as this. This just makes it easier if you needed to make like a 1,000th or 2,000th adjustment. You've got a indicator, but I mean, you can do that with a bolt and then just measure it with your calipers or whatever and, you know, get the same result. Once you're locked in, it's going to do the same thing. But yeah, there it is. Hope you all enjoyed the video.